guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 20 books that I want to read before 2021. It seems insane to think that next year is 2021. Like, I don't even know where all the years have gone. And 2020 has seemed like both the longest year ever and the shortest year ever. I can't believe, hey, stop. I cannot believe that we are already in August. It blows my mind. So this video will not be going up until September. I think it's the first week of September, but as of filming this, it is currently August 24th. So I'm hoping to have read at least one of these by the time this video goes up. But as of right now, these are the 20 books that I want to read by the end of the year. I actually have these books into 5 different categories. So let's just jump right in. The first group of books are going to be arcs that I have been approved for from NetGalley that come out this year, so obviously I need to read them this year. The first one is Common Goal by Rachel Reed. This is an LGBTQ. Jeez. This is an LGBTQ plus romance, and I am very excited about it. I don't know much about these books. Usually when I request them, it's because the cover has intrigued me. I usually know the cover, the title, the author, and the general genre of the book. So we're doing great so far. The next book I have is Little Bones by N.V. Peacock, I believe. I love that author's name. Just love it. But this is it young adult? I'm not sure if it's young adult or adult, but this is a thriller. And again, that's pretty much all I know about it. I promise the books that I actually own, I will know more about. But I don't know much about this one. Why the Rock Falls by J.E. Barnard. This is again a thriller. I believe this is a young adult thriller that involves rock climbing. So I know a little bit more about this one. I'm very excited to read it. I believe this one is a part of like a detective mysteries series. I'm not entirely sure, and the last book that I have in this category is 10 Rules for Faking It by Sophie Sullivan. And this is an adult female romance, and I'm pretty sure it involves fake relationships, so I'm very excited about it. And I didn't tell you when they come out. So Common Goal comes out September 21st, so it's definitely going to be one of the first books that I read on this list. Little Bones comes out October 31st. Why the Rock Falls comes out December 8th. 10 Rules for Faking It comes out on January 5th. The next category I have are some new releases or 2020 releases that I want to get to. And these are by no means all of the books that I want to get to, but if I only get to a certain number of books, then these are definitely at the top of the list. The first book on this list is Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Barron. This is a young adult fantasy retelling of Cinderella, except in this world, all of the girls are required to go to this ball and find their prince or their husband, and our main character does not want to do that. She wants to find her own path and her own relationships, and I believe there are female romances in here, and I'm very excited about it. And that's pretty much all I know. I don't want to go into it knowing too much, but I think I'm going to really enjoy it. I think I'm going to really enjoy it, and I'm very excited about it. The next book I have is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is a historical fiction Gothic horror novel from Book of the Month. This is my first Book of the Month pick, and I'm very excited to read this. I haven't read any Gothic horror novels before, and it just sounds very interesting. I believe this is about a woman whose best friend sends her a letter, or her cousin sends her a letter that says she is in trouble, and when she goes to see if she can help, she ends up in this like haunted house place. That's pretty much all I know about it, but I'm very excited, very intrigued to see what this is about, and I can't wait to pick it up. The next book I have is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. This is an adult thriller, and I believe it's also kind of a horror at the same time, but I read my first ever Riley Sager book in July, and that was Lock Every Door. I absolutely loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. It made me immediately want to pick up every book he's ever written. Oh gosh, I don't know if Riley Sager is male or female, and I'm so sorry. Yes, and this is actually on my TBR for Summerween this coming week. This involves our main character's dad wrote a book about her childhood home and how it was haunted, and it became really famous if you think of like the Amityville horror. And it also kind of reminds me of The Haunting of Hill House in a way, but she doesn't want any part of this book. But her father dies and she ends up inheriting this house, and so it's kind of like what goes on after she inherits it. And it sounds very interesting. This is actually on my Summerween TBR, which is happening this week, the last week of August. So I plan to pick it up very soon. I'm very excited about it. Last book in my new releases category is Conventionally Yours by Annabeth Albert. I have picked this up, or I started reading this at the beginning of this month, and then all the readathons started happening, and it didn't fit into any of my challenges, and I'm very sad about it. But I'm only 42 pages into it, so I need to get this done ASAP. But so far, I was really enjoying it, and I can't wait to see what happens. This is a young adult male romance contemporary story about these 2 boys who are like high school. Actually, no, they're in college. That's right. So there are these 2 boys that are college enemies, and they don't understand each other's lives, but they end up having to go on this road trip together, and I'm very excited. I will just read the little back part to you. It says, 2 infamous rivals, 1 epic road trip, some uncomfortably tight quarters, and a journey neither will ever forget. The third category I have is series finishers, or like series that I want to finish. There is one exception in this category, but I will get to it, or I'll explain that when I get to it. So the first book I have is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. This is the sequel / companion novel to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. And I absolutely love that book. It was one of my favorite books of that year. It's one of my favorite books of all time. And I just need to get to this and read it. But I've heard so many mixed reviews on this book, and so many people have said it's not as good as Gentleman's Guide, and I don't know why. It's just kind of putting me off from picking it up, but I just need to do it. I need to get it done. Maybe I'll pick up the audiobook for this one because I loved the audiobook for the first one, so we will see. The next book is actually not a series finisher, but that is Map of Days by Ransom Riggs. This is the 4th. Is it the 4th though? I mean, I guess it's kind of the 4th. It's the continuation of the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series, which started as a trilogy, but then he wrote another book, and I haven't read it yet. I absolutely love the original trilogy, and so I picked this up like the day it came out, and I have not read it. And there is another book out called A Conference of Birds, I believe. And I actually have ordered it. It's on the way here. So maybe I'll read both of them and just finish the series. I did actually start this forever ago, but I remember nothing about it, so I'll have to start all over. Actually, let me just take the bookmark out because I'll have to start it over anyway. The next book, I'm kind of ashamed. That's not even a word. I'm kind of ashamed that I haven't read it yet, and that is Dark Dawn by Jay Kristoff. Listen, I have a fine. What is wrong with me? I have a signed first edition because I pre-ordered this book, if that tells you anything, and I still have not read it. The last book that I have on this in this category is Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is the third and final book in the Illuminate files, and I just love these books. So I just need to finish them. And plus, they're very quick reads. I think the reason I haven't picked this one up is because I didn't own it for a long time after I read Gemina. So when I finally picked it up, I'd had a pretty good break after reading the first two. So I just wasn't like at the top of the books that I wanted to read. And I just need to finish it. I just need to pick it up and read it. Honestly, it wouldn't take me that long anyway, so that just needs to happen. But the next category I have are self-published books. So if you don't know, I am a self-published author, and I try my best to read other books that have been self-published because I feel like that's just, you know, a thing people should do. I don't know. I feel like self-published books get a lot of negative rep because they're self-published, but they put a lot of effort and time and patience and work into their books, so I want to read them. And I currently have, I think I have like 7, but I've picked out 4 that I'm really interested in. The first one I have is Return of the Prince by Nana Malone. This is the first book in the Prince Duet or Royal Elite Prince Duet series. I think does a duet mean 2 books? I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't know what duet means. That's a term that I've kind of recently heard, so if you know what duet means, let me know. But this is a royal romance, and I believe it's enemies to lovers, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll just read the back to you because it kind of gives a very brief introduction. So, they said I'd never come home again. They were wrong. There is one person worth returning home for. Her. One little problem. She hates me. She should. I left her behind. Yeah. So, I'm very excited about this one. Really? Are you sure? Okay. Yeah. I know it. Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh. Oh my. That's serious. The next book I have is Hook by Gina L. Maxwell. This is a Peter Pan retelling, except Captain Hook is the main character, and I believe it's a romance relationship between Captain Hook and Wendy, but Wendy is an FBI agent. I don't know. It's just, look at this cover. Isn't this a gorgeous cover? I just recently subscribed to the Reveal book box, and I got both of those in that book box, so I love that. So the Reveal book box is actually a subscription box for romance, except they're all self-published books, and it's amazing. It's amazing. The next book I have is Thomas Wildus and the Book of Sorrows by J.M. Burgin. This is a book I actually won in a giveaway. It is assigned to me, so that's exciting. It gives me very like Harry Potter vibes in a way. I don't know why, but this is I believe it might be middle grade. It's either middle grade or young adult fantasy, but I think it's middle grade. And it's about a boy named Thomas, and on his 13th birthday, he discovers that magic is real. So that's exciting. Oh no, I'm sorry. He believes in magic, and then when he turns 13, he figures out that he wasn't wrong, I think. You like my shirt? It's funny because I'm a math teacher. And the last book I have in this category is Duel of Fire by Jordan Rivet. And this is the first book in the Steel and Fire series. This is a young adult fantasy about a girl who wants to be a professional duel fighter duelist. Get that right. She wants to be a professional duelist, but in order to do that, she needs to have a patron to support her. And it's just about her dueling, I guess. But this, I got a recommendation from Murphy Napier. Gosh, I'm really bad with names. But she reads a lot of self-published works as well, and I love her YouTube channel. But she loved this book. She recommended it, so I picked it up. And I just need to read it now. I know. Oh, yeah? What's the matter, huh? What's the matter? And the fifth and final category I am calling TBR Vets. These are books that have been on my TBR for a long time, / other books that didn't fit into any other category because, yeah. The first book I have is The Son of Neptune by Rick Riordan. As you can tell or may know, this is the second book in the Heroes of Olympus series. I have read the Percy Jackson series. Well, this is part of it. I've read the, what are they called? The Olympians? I've read the Olympians series, and I have read The Lost Hero, the first book in the series, and I loved it. And I just have not read this one yet, and it's been sitting on my shelf for years now, and I don't know why I haven't read it. I think it's because I'm struggling. Actually, now that I've had some distance from the Percy Jackson series, I might be able to really get into this, but I think because I tried reading this immediately after reading the Percy Jackson series, and this wasn't about Percy Jackson, I was just like, I don't want to read this. But now that I've had some distance and I'm not all in my feels about Percy Jackson, maybe I will have better luck. So I actually do have a hold on this audiobook in my library, so as soon as it comes to me, then I should read it. The next book that I have, a lot of people are going to yell at me for not having already read, and that is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I don't know why I haven't read this yet. Maybe it was because I wasn't the biggest fan of her Shades of Magic series. I mean, I did enjoy it, but I wasn't like in love with it like everyone else. But this one just sounds so interesting. I believe it's about two guys who are trying to figure out how people get extraordinary powers, and they find out that it's from having a near-death experience, and I believe they try to kill each other, and then they end up as enemies somehow. I feel like I know a lot for not having read this book, so I guess we'll find out. But I really am interested in this book and intrigued, and I think I will enjoy it, so it's about time that I picked it up. The next book I have is My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. This is an adult thriller book, and this one isn't necessarily a TBR vet. I did actually just get it a couple months ago, but I am so intrigued by this book. So this is about a husband and wife who kill people together, and it just sounds so intriguing. I believe it's supposed to be like, Dexter meets Mr. and Mrs. Smith is literally what it says. So I'm very excited to read this one. How many times have I said excited in this video? If you know, you should put it in the comments because that'll be an exciting number to figure out. The last book, the final book on this list, actually just got this month. But I'm so excited to read this. And that is Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell. I know nothing about this series except that it is fantasy and that it was recommended by Olivia Rizalate. She recommended this series more than once, said it's one of her favorite series of all time. Wait, I think it was her. If it wasn't her, I will be embarrassed. But yeah, I'm so excited to read this. So, and just look at these characters. Don't they look so freaking awesome? I don't know. I'm so excited about these books, about this series. Those are the 20 books that I want to read by the end of the year. Hey, ma'am, you should let me know what are some books that you want to read by the end of the year. I hope, ma'am, would you stop? I hope to read all of these books plus more books. So we'll see if that happens. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a like, and I will see you next time with another one. Bye!